You ever notice how some people's homes feel like museums? Everything perfectly placed. Every surface empty. Every corner breathing. And you probably thought, oh, they just hate clutter. But that's not what's happening. A lot of minimalists aren't decluttering because they despise their stuff. They're trying to escape something darker. Something that lives in all of us, but most people never name out loud. And once you see it, you'll understand why your own bedroom might be quietly suffocating you. Let me paint you a picture. You wake up tomorrow morning. Before your feet even hit the floor, your brain is already working. Which shirt? Blue or black? Wait. Was the blue one clean? Where did I put it? Do I even like that shirt anymore? Then you walk into the kitchen. Which mug? Which spoon? Do I need to wash this plate first? Should I throw away that leftover pasta? Or eat it? And here's the creepy part. Every single object around you is asking something. Tiny question, tiny decision, tiny demand. And your brain, whether you notice it or not, is answering all of them. That's decision fatigue. Your mind has a limited choice budget each day, like a battery, and every decision, big or small, drains it. Not because you're weak, because you're human. So by the time you get to the decisions that actually matter, the ones about your career, your relationships, your future, you're already running on fumes. You spent your mental fuel deciding which socks deserved your attention. Now here's what minimalists figured out that most people miss. Your environment is not neutral. It's either supporting your brain or quietly taxing it. Not in some dramatic, obvious way. In the smallest, most invisible way possible. Every object you own is like a little open tab in your mind. Tiny vampire. Draining a sliver of focus, a sliver of attention. And when you add up enough slivers, you don't get a little distracted. You get a canyon. And this isn't just vibes. Researchers at Princeton found that physical clutter competes for your attention. When there's too much in your visual field, your brain has to work harder to filter it out, so focusing becomes harder. It's like trying to have a serious conversation while 10 people whisper at you from every corner of the room. So minimalists look around their homes and they see the truth. That every knickknack, every forgotten gadget, every pile of paper on the counter is costing them something. And they start removing things not because they hate objects, but because they're trying to get their mind back. But let's go deeper because this is where it gets really interesting. You know that feeling when the world outside your window feels out of control? The news is terrifying. Your job feels unstable. Relationships are complicated. And half the time you can't do anything about any of it. That feeling, powerlessness, does something to your brain. It doesn't just make you sad. It makes you restless. So your mind starts searching for something, anything, it can control. Enter minimalism. You can't control the economy, but you can control your closet. You can't control what people think of you, but you can control what's on your shelves. You can't stop the chaos outside, but you can create order inside. And that feeling, the return of agency, can be intoxicating. This is the secret addiction behind minimalism for some people. It's not just about simplicity. It's control, dressed up as simplicity. Now, quick rehook, because this is the part nobody wants to admit. Sometimes minimalism stops being a tool and starts becoming an escape. Psychologists talk about destination addiction. It's the belief that you'll finally feel okay once you get there, once you get the promotion, once you fix your body, once you find the right relationship. And minimalism can become one more destination. People start obsessively removing things, thinking, if I just get rid of enough stuff, I'll finally feel calm. I'll finally feel clean. I'll finally feel enough. But they're not decluttering. They're running. They're running from the discomfort of being alive. Because here's the truth that hurts a little. Sometimes mess is proof you're actually living. Your counter covered in half-used ingredients because you tried a new recipe. Your living room scattered with your kids' toys because they're exploring and imagining and being children. Your desk piled with notes and books because you're learning something, trying something, building something. That's not chaos. That's evidence. And the healthiest minimalists, the ones who actually find peace in it, understand something crucial. They're not seeking emptiness. They're seeking intention. There's a massive difference. Emptiness is running away. Intention is choosing carefully. When a true minimalist looks at an object, they're not just asking, "Do I need this?" They're asking, "Does this serve my life? Does this reflect who I want to be? Does it add value? Or does it quietly take up space?" Every item that stays is a deliberate choice, not something that survived by accident. Think about it like this. Imagine your home is a conversation. Every object in it is a word. Some people's homes are run on sentences, endless, cluttered, filled with words that stopped meaning anything a long time ago. Minimalism is editing that sentence, cutting the filler, cutting the repetition, cutting the noise. What's left isn't emptiness. It's clarity. It's meaning. But here's the shadow side, another quick rehook, because this can flip. Some people edit so aggressively they erase all warmth, all personality, all humanity. Their homes stop being homes and start being showrooms. Cold, perfect, lifeless, and they call that peace. But sometimes it's just control that went too far. They traded the chaos of clutter for the prison of perfection. So what does healthy minimalism actually look like? It's not about owning exactly 33 items. It's not about fitting your life into a backpack. It's about knowing yourself well enough to recognize what drains you and what fuels you. Maybe you need a totally clear desk to think. Maybe you need your grandmother's quilt on your bed even if it clashes with everything. Maybe you need 3 guitars even though you only play one because the other 2 remind you of who you were and who you still want to become. Healthy minimalism is ruthless with what doesn't matter and generous with what does. It's not a rule. It's a relationship with your environment. And that relationship should make you feel more like yourself, not less. So here's what minimalists are really running from: distraction, noise, the mental exhaustion of managing too many meaningless things. But what they're running toward is even more important. They're running toward space. Not just physical space, mental space, emotional space, space to think clearly, space to feel deeply, space to actually be present in their own lives instead of constantly managing background chaos. Because when your environment is calm, your mind can stop firefighting, can stop answering 1,000 tiny questions, and finally turn toward the big ones. Who am I? What do I actually want? What kind of life am I building? Those questions require space, and minimalism can create it. So maybe the real insight is this: minimalism isn't about owning less. It's about being owned by less. It's about looking at your life and asking, what here is serving me? And what am I serving? Because everything you own requires something from you. Time, tension, energy, mental space. And if you spend all of that on things that don't matter, you'll have nothing left for the things that do. Now I want you to do something. Look around the room you're in right now. Really look. What's competing for your attention? What object is screaming the loudest? Maybe it's that laundry pile you've been meaning to fold for 3 days. Maybe it's that stack of mail you keep avoiding. Maybe it's something broken that you keep promising you'll fix someday. Whatever it is, it's taking up space in your mind whether you realize it or not. And here's the uncomfortable question. What is that object actually saying to you? Is it reminding you of something unfinished? A version of yourself you feel like you're not living up to? A decision you keep avoiding? Because clutter isn't just physical. It's emotional. It's psychological. Every object that doesn't belong is a tiny, unresolved tension. Minimalists heard those whispers and decided to silence them, not by pretending they weren't there, but by facing them, by making the hard choices, by letting go of who they thought they should be, and making space for who they actually are. And maybe that's what makes minimalism so powerful. It's not a lifestyle trend. It's not an aesthetic. It's not just empty countertops for Instagram. It's a mirror. It forces you to see what you're holding on to and why. It forces you to confront the gap between the life you're living and the life you want to live. And then it gives you permission to close that gap. So no, minimalists aren't getting rid of things because they hate stuff. They're creating space for what matters. They're choosing intention over impulse. They're reclaiming their minds from the quiet chaos most people learn to ignore. And maybe that's worth paying attention to. Because the real question isn't whether minimalism is right or wrong. The question is, what is your environment doing to you right now? Is it supporting the life you want? Or is it silently working against you? And if it's working against you, what are you going to do about it? If this made you see your space differently, consider subscribing. This channel is here to help you understand human behavior, especially your own, in a way that actually makes sense. No jargon. No fluff. Just the real reasons we do what we do.